everyone. This is Rebecca Greene for the Whiny Palooza podcast, and I am so excited today. I'm already having the best time. We are just having way too much fun. I get to speak to the fabulous Dr. Carmen Bell-Ross today. Dr. Carmen, thank you so much for doing this with me today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm laughing from what we were talking about. Okay, I'm getting ready. I'm gonna be serious now, Rebecca.
You
Thank you
don't
for
have
having
to,
me
you
today.
never have to be serious with me. She is so wonderful. She has so much to share with us. I don't even know where to begin with her, but let me introduce her first. Dr. Carmen is the founder and CEO of SP Grace LLC and the creator of the College Smarter Method, a proven framework that helps students turn their academic journey into a standout story for college admissions and beyond. With over 20 years in leadership, education, and workforce development, she's guided families, schools, and professionals to achieve clarity, confidence, and purpose. Dr. Bell Ross, oh, no, Dr. Carmen combines psychology, strategy, and storytelling to help students succeed in college and life. Told you we're going to laugh a lot today. So, so now you know why I'm excited to talk to her. She already knows that I have a son in college who just started college. I have a daughter who's a junior, and I have another daughter who's an eighth grader. And you also have a child in college.
I do. She is a junior at Harvard studying
Oh,
neuroscience.
oh, I can't wait to tell my son that. That is freaking amazing. Wow. So she's got the street cred to help us, let me tell you. So, so tell us what inspired you to create the College Smarter method.
So seriously, I so unfortunately I divorced my daughter's father when she was very, very young. And I was, putting extra pressure on myself to make sure that I made the best choices for her. I mean, she was so cute, had these little fat cheeks, and, was so happy and bouncy. I'm looking in this little face and I'm like, oh my God, I am responsible for this and for making sure she turns out to be a great person. And you know what, Rebecca, you can do things for other people all day, every day. It's totally different when it's you, right? It's
Yeah,
totally different
yeah,
doing it for yourself. And
yeah.
this is my only child, and I had put a tremendous amount of pressure on myself to make sure that she was going to turn out to be great. I was like, listen, I was putting her in everything. I was like, okay, I got to put her in all these activities, everything I could come up with. I'm going to live in this little bitty house in this really expensive school district, just so that she could, thrive. And I was just doing all the things.
Yeah.
And I had to take a step back and I was like, hold on, let me pay attention to what's happening here. And I started to, I mean, I also had done this work. I've spoken to thousands of students about college admissions and all the things, right? But again, it was my kid now. And so thinking about how do I actually shape her entire life so that it points to success. And I don't just mean success like getting into college, getting into a great college.
Getting into
I
Harvard.
mean like, well, yeah, that, and just thriving. Like, don't we want our kids to thrive? We want them to get there. We want them to want to stay there. We want them to be successful. We want them to be happy. Like, I don't want her to be somewhere where she's just going through the motions to make me, proud. I didn't want that for her. I
Yeah.
wanted to create a path that she could own and a space that she felt like she walked confidently through the world. And so, I took the things that I knew about college admissions. I also integrated from that a lot of the things that I know from doing career and professional development across my entire career with leaders in all kinds of organizations through the C-suite. And I put all that stuff together because, leaders, they call us whenever they have people that don't know how to treat people or don't know what they're doing. And,
Yeah.
so that'll keep us employed forever because people don't know how to treat people. But like understanding what are the things that happen in workplaces that cause companies to say, we want to invest in this. We want to spend money to help these people be better.
Yeah.
And looking at what I knew about college and college admissions, and also taking on top of that what I knew I really wanted for my child, because that's a different layer. My values, what's important to me, and this little personality that was not the same as mine. And so
Right.
that was what inspired the college method, you know. I thought she was gonna be
Amazing.
like me, and she just wasn't. I played the piano as a young child, and so we bought her a piano. Okay, this is crazy. We bought a piano because we thought she'll be a child piano prodigy. My kid realized at, I think she was about 3, that the piano played itself, and so she turned on the piano and started dancing next to it.
It's
That
amazing.
was the end of that.
Oh my
So she's a
gosh.
dancer. She's a captain of the of Harvard's competitive dance team now. So she's a dancer. I
Oh my
cannot
goodness.
listen. You don't want me to if I dance, that would go viral, okay? Because it's not good. Okay, just saying.
You're hysterical. Well, so you help kids, and I know,
Yeah.
they're so focused on their grades and their activities. Like, tell us about your method. Go beyond the grades and the activities, and I mean, what do
Mhm.
the children need to be doing to get into Harvard?
Okay. Well, okay. So see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. This is the truth.
Yeah.
Students who apply to competitive programs are all impressive. You don't apply
Yes.
to Harvard. You don't apply to Cornell. You don't apply to Georgetown, the University of Michigan, if you are not impressive. You just
Right.
don't do that.
Right.
Your parents can brag on you all day, every day. So if impressive is everywhere, then you have to be unforgettable. And
Ooh, good
yes,
word.
yes.
Good word.
You have to. You have to be unforgettable. And that's where I really help them because my method is around saying, of course you're amazing. Of course you are. Your parents helped you to be amazing. You're naturally amazing. You put all that together. There's just a lot of amazingness in there, right? Um, but we got to show the world that. And you have to
Yeah.
be able to show a university it's bigger than just having a great story. Students have to own that story. It's got to make sense for who they are. And we help them own it because we got to validate these kids. This is huge, right? Because we don't always realize how we're shutting them down when we are trying to tell them what's best for them. Hey, that's nice that that's a cute little hobby that you have. You could do that on the side, but now let's focus on what you're really going to do with your life. Guess what? That hobby that you think is that cute little hobby might be the very life force of that child. And that might be the very thing that you can connect to other things in a way that that child not only feels validated and empowered, but they feel confident. And now, when they're telling the story of why they do what they do, who they are, why they're making the choices that they're making, they do it with conviction and with passion. And people feel that. People
Mm,
remember that. You know what I mean? And so when you're
yes.
applying to college, yes, you need a great story. But I'm going to tell you, they prefer a real story. What are you really bringing here? Like, seriously,
Yes.
what are you
Yes.
bringing to our campus that we really actually will find valuable? That you're smart, that's nice, but everybody that applied is smart,
I
right? That
know.
you,
I know. That's what I told my son. I'm like, everyone has a 99 average max. You got to do more than that.
yes. And the thing is, I think sometimes as parents, we don't realize that doing more than that is not more work, it's not more stress, it's just different,
Yes.
right?
Yes. I like that.
Everybody is playing from the same playbook. We're all, people are all playing from the same playbook. They've got to have leadership. They've got to have community service. They've got to have, all these things. Okay, guess what? Everybody doesn't have showy gifts, right? Everybody doesn't want to be the leader. Followership is a real thing. What kind of team member are you? How well do you encourage other people when you're not great? Think about Rudy. You remember that movie? You remember
Ah,
Rudy? Like Rudy,
mm-mm.
Rudy. Okay. Well, in any case, like everybody can't be the superstar, but how great are
Right.
you at being a background player, at being a supporter, at being an encourager?
Mm,
There is real value in that. And guess
okay.
what? You can talk about that when you talk about why you do the activities you do. Hey, you know what, Sarah, you're not the best dancer. So why are you like still on the dance team and like you sit in the back, they put you in the back row and everything and all these things. I do it because I love the art form and somebody has to play the role. Somebody has to be back there. If there's no background, then the foreground doesn't show up. Man, doesn't that say a lot about you? So do what you love. Like we gotta validate them. So I'm
That's
sure
good
that was a long way
advice.
around the answer to
Oh
your
my God, that
question.
was such good advice. Okay, so I have to ask you this question. Why
Okay.
do you Why do you think your daughter got into Harvard? What do you think it did it for her?
I told my daughter that we need you to own your own story. It's got to make sense for you. And I want you to be your 100% authentic self in your interviews and in your essays. And if a school doesn't choose you, then guess what? You're not maybe the right fit there. Maybe that's not the right place for you, but you want to be able to be somewhere where they read about you, they see you, because your application has to speak for you when you're not there, right? They
Yeah.
don't see you, they don't get a chance to necessarily talk to you. And so I said, you want to be your authentic self with your authentic best foot forward. Authentic is a key word here. And
Mm,
the right matches will present themselves. I said, we are not applying anywhere that's not a great school for you. If you aren't interested, if you don't feel like you could have an amazing experience there, if you don't love that school, we're not applying. Well, apply for what? You don't want to be there. That's a setup for
right.
failure.
Right. Yeah. More good
Yeah.
advice. You're full
You
of
choose
it.
them, they choose you. Yes, you guys both have to choose each other because this is a match thing, okay? Don't just worry
Yeah.
about getting in. You want them.
Yes.
Listen, you got to want them too. You are not
Yes.
just begging somebody to take you. You are saying, hey, I'm bringing something of value. If you get some of this, then your campus will be blessed by my presence, right?
Yes.
And so I say that playfully, but seriously too, because
True.
listen, schools are looking for what are you bringing here that would add value. Um, and so you want to make sure you show up with that. So I that was my advice to her. We certainly had a plan and a strategy for her stories to make sense because I picked her activities and we picked her, her classes and all the things to align with her story that made sense.
Mm.
Because it
Well,
makes sense because of who you are.
congratulations. Because that's a success. I'm
Thank you.
sorry, but it's a success for us too.
Yeah, don't apologize. Listen here. I tell people when
Telling
people
you.
I'm like we go to Harvard, okay? Like I wear more Harvard stuff than she does. We go to Harvard.
You're awesome. I know I need some more merch. I really do. Next time. Next time.
Yes. We're all the merch. We did this together. This is a team effort. This is a family effort. We're all wearing it. In fact, I got one for the dog. Let's go.
I'm totally gonna do that. I said to him, "Can I get you another sweatshirt? Can I get you a blanket?" Mom, I'm good. I'm just gonna do it. I'm not even gonna ask him. I just want to
Oh
buy all
my
the merch.
gosh. Buy the merch. What are you kidding me? We did this together.
What do you think the biggest mistake is that families are making in the college process?
One, I think everybody is playing by the same playbook, as I said before, listening to what everybody else is doing and feeling the pressure because we then apply that to our kids, whether we realize it or not.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what, Derek, you need to get in more leadership roles. Derek, you need to do this, you need to do that. We're stressing them out, and it's not necessary. It's not necessary. You want to play smart. You want to understand how colleges make decisions about who gets in. You want to make sure that as you understand how colleges make decisions, then you can be more thoughtful and strategic in how you plan, right? You also
Mm,
want to make sure that you're not telling your kid to be somebody they're not. That's the wrong message to send all along. We want them to get there. We want them to stay there. We want them to thrive and be successful. I can't tell you how many kids leave after the first year. And that's unfortunate. And then what we hear is, well, college is not for me. And I have such a problem with that statement. College is not for everyone, so that's not what I'm saying. But when students go away to college, they knew when they were in high school that college would be more school. They've been in school their
yeah.
whole lives. They know how to be students.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not that you don't know how to be a student. So when you say college is not for me, to me, that means this college might not have been for you. This program might not have been for you. This situation might not have been for you. Perhaps you're studying something that really, I
Yeah.
mean, it doesn't interest you. So, no, it's not for you. You are right. So, let's get that part right before you go so that when you get there, because for most of us, even whether you go to college or not, is there or is there not more professional learning that has to take place as you move into your career?
For sure.
right?
Yes.
You know, you gotta learn somewhere. Somebody's got to teach you something for a career, right? And you guys know how to be students. So like let's get the match right up front so that you
Mm.
can thrive while you're there and you're happy and you're not having to come home and be miserable and all the things.
Well, and I also think just from observing that we can do our best as parents and as professionals to guide them to the right school. But if it's not the right school, I think it's okay to switch too.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
absolutely. Listen, life is short. So
Right.
you have to be open to a pivot. I think a lot of times though what happens is that we don't realize that we're making decisions, especially with college. We don't realize that we're not necessarily making the decisions that are aligned with the child and the family. It's got to all match up. Like the kid, what the kid wants. I mean, they don't know what they necessarily want for a career. I mean, we just told them what they were going to eat for dinner last week, and we just told them what they couldn't wear, where they couldn't go. And now we say, hey, pick what you're going to do with the rest of your life. Like, get out of here. They're not ready for that. But
Right.
who are they? Like, what do they love to do? What lights them on fire? As parents, we should be paying attention to that kind of stuff. And we got to validate that and say, okay, if that lights you on fire, where else could we go with that? You know, let's lean into that. If this is what brings you joy, if this is where you are at your best, like, let's look at the possibilities for that path. And when you do that, I think that you increase the likelihood that they'll end up somewhere, that'll be a good fit for them. But yes, you are absolutely right. If you get somewhere and it does not work out, you can keep it moving. That's fine.
Right. I mean, I'm the mom over here telling them to do less and they don't listen to me.
Yes. Yes. And
So,
seriously, sometimes less is more, right? Like I, I have no problem with saying in fact I did. I've said to more than one student, including the one that, belongs to me. I've said take some of those classes off your plate. Like you don't need these particular AP classes, or this is senior year. I want you to focus on these things. Like we adjust. It's not necessarily more. I want you to enjoy this space and this time because that's their story in that.
you're full of such good advice. I'm taking it all in because I'm about to just do it again. I'm about to do this again. Um, I'm taking,
Yes.
I'm trying to take a breather. She's not really giving me a breather because she's so excited, but that's okay. I like the excitement. I like it.
Yes. Excitement
So,
is good, especially when they're getting ready to go to college. So that's a
well,
great thing.
and I want to talk about the excitement and I want to talk about starting the process, but some people, some parents are reaching out to me and telling me that they can't get their kids to even talk about college, where to go, starting the process. Any advice to these parents because it's stressful?
Hmm. So I would dig into that. Do the kids actually want to go to college?
Hmm.
See, that's a whole other layer because there was a time when if you went to college, your kids were expected to go to college and they knew they were going to college. It sounded like a natural extension of high school. For me, I I didn't even ever think of college as an option. It just was the next thing you do after high school because that's what
Right,
my parents told me.
right,
And there was never a thought about that. That's not the same anymore. Young people recognize that they have lots of options. If they are listening to the media around them, there's not really a lot of as much positive conversation around the college path as there was at one time. You hear more about, getting into student loan debt and college not being worth it and all that kind of stuff. And so there are all these other forces that are at play here. And so they're taking in all that at the same time they want to satisfy and please their parents too. And so some of them aren't really
yeah,
ready to talk about it because they're just not sure that that's the path they want. Um, some of them are like, I'm going to do it because my parents want me to. Some of them think they may not necessarily see where college could allow for them to expand and grow in areas that they really love. Like if you want to be an entrepreneur, that doesn't mean you can't go to college and really get a lot of things that will help you be a better entrepreneur, right? That
yeah,
doesn't mean that.
right.
Um, It doesn't mean you got to wait to start your business, but I think that you got to kind of dig into what's really going on with them. Why they don't want to talk about it. Senior year, junior year is super stressful for them.
I know. It's just a lot of pressure. I saw one of my friends out with her senior daughter, and I whispered something to her, like, what's her plan? And she goes, don't ask. Like, don't even bring it up. She doesn't
Mm-hmm.
want to talk about it. So, like, I have picked up on the fact that every kid does not want to talk about it.
I know, and that's what the thing is. That's the natural question that so many adults ask young people when they hear you're a junior, you're a senior. Oh, where are you going to go to college, or what's your plan, or what's
Yep.
next?
Yep.
Like, I mean, they don't know. They're stressed enough. Listen, like I said, we just told them last week you're going to eat salmon for dinner, and it's going to be broccoli, and you're going to have some rice, and that's
And you're
that.
going to eat it. Yep.
And you're going to eat it, and you're going to go wash the dishes
Yep.
immediately after you finish. Like, we just told them you can't wear that and you're not going to that party. We just told them that. We just told them you better be on time for school tomorrow, because like
Yeah.
we tell them everything. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, now you get to make your first major decision. What are you going to do with the rest of your life? Imagine the
I
pressure.
know. Too much. Too much. Too much. So, to the family who is starting the process, they don't know where to start. Can we give them some advice?
So, first, if you are a parent of a middle school child and you're thinking about it, I strongly suggest that you set up an appointment with us. We have a complimentary college mapping advantage session that you can sign up for on our website. And the reason I say that is that it is really helpful in
Mm,
middle school to start thinking about, what do you really want to do? How do you want to do this so you don't stress them out and yourself? I think the high school years should be relaxing, not relaxing. Okay, they should be fulfilling, and they should be
yes.
building memories. These are the last years we have before these little rascals become adults. Okay, we should be building memories and doing things that are meaningful and that we'll look back on and laugh for years to come. That's what we should be doing. So I encourage parents who are in middle school to get started early. And even whether a parent decides to become a college smarter family or not, they benefit from that meeting, because that conversation allows you to go like this. Woo, just to exhale and understand kind of big picture on what to do. High school parents, listen, wherever you are, I mean, the same. High school parents also can reach out and schedule the same meeting with us. I think it's important to first take a step back and think about, as a parent, what's the end game here? Okay, college is the next step, because a lot of us just think it's the next step. But what is the
Yeah.
end game? Like, what is it that you actually really, really want for your kid? Like, there's a reason we send them to college, right? So what is that? Um, and then sometimes it's easier to walk back from that. Like, my end game wasn't college. My end game was a successful child who has a gratifying career where she can take care of
Yes.
herself well,
Yes.
and her mama, too. I just want to throw that
Yep.
out there.
Yep.
But that was
Yep.
that was my end
Yep.
game. That was my end game. And so that's what I really want. And if she had said to me, Mom, I see a different path, I can't lie and say I wouldn't have been disappointed on some level, but then I'd have gotten over it, because I would stay focused on the end game: successful life, career, happiness, joy, mentally healthy. And so I think that's really important.
So, what's interesting to me with my children listening to you, I told you I have the freshman in college, I have the junior in high school, I have the eighth grader, and the eighth grader will say to people, I'm 13, I'm in eighth grade. Like, because everyone's starting to ask her now. And she's like, whoa, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, I'm 13. So you're saying
Good for her.
it's okay to start talking about it in middle school.
Yes, and I think we have to just shape the questions a little bit differently. What do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to do? Ask me that question right now, and I probably can't answer it. Uh, but no, seriously, I think that it becomes more like, hey, what sets your soul on fire? Like, what lights you up?
Oh,
What
yes.
is it that you are doing when you are the happiest? What kinds of things do you do when you want to get centered or relaxed? What are you doing when you're having lots of fun? I think asking those kind of exploratory questions can help them to think about, what's important. Because what they love to do is important. It's not just a little
Yeah.
side hobby. It's not.
Yeah.
That's not right.
I'm I'm getting that message from multiple people, so trust me, it's sinking in. I love that you're all telling me this. I think a lot of us parents are doing things wrong, so I'm glad that you're here to teach us.
I would say we're doing the best we can with the information that we
Yes.
have and
Yes.
with what we know of our children and what we believe to be the best for them. I think that's what we're
Absolutely.
doing.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you could tell parents one thing, like you want all the parents to know something, what would you tell us?
Mhm. Hey, listen, your child is good enough. They're good
Yes.
enough to get exactly where they're supposed to go. I'm
Yep.
telling you, parents tell me, well, my kid isn't really a scholar, or my kid is not really, I can't tell you how often parents tell me what their kid is not. Um, let's focus on what your kid is, because we are all gifted in our own ways and we are purposed. And I think
Yeah.
it's important to understand that even though you might have a child who doesn't necessarily have showy gifts, that child might not be the artist or the athlete or the best speaker, debater, whatever. Those are showy. The world can see those
Yeah.
easily, but your child might have some incredible gifts that are not easily seen, like a gift of encouragement. Your child might be that person who's always giving friends the best advice. Your child might be an amazing listener. Hey, guess what? Those things work really well into careers that are really, really viable and that they could be moving into, that are purposed and meaningful. We got to
Yeah.
pay attention. And it's okay for them not to be the scholar or them not to be the best, athlete or the best whatever, because they're the best something, the best whoever they are. We tap into that, and that's what we show the world.
Wow. Yeah. They don't all have to be the president of the student congress or the student, is that what it's called?
No.
Student congress? Yeah,
Yes,
whatever.
sure. Sure. I mean,
So,
there's nothing wrong with being that. I'm not saying don't be
yeah,
the best that you can within your
right.
lane, whatever that looks like. But what I'm also saying is that if that's not your path, if that's not what makes sense for who you are, meaning the child, then let's lean into what makes sense for who you are. I do believe that whatever it is that a child is gifted at or is good at, let's tap into that and give them the best possible opportunities and experiences related to that, to see where that might go. I think that's valuable. And that
That's
also makes
perfect.
for a far more interesting conversation, a far more interesting essay, a far more interesting interview. Um,
Yes.
you
Yes.
know, I'm a skateboarder. Oh, wow. Well, how is it that you are a skateboarder and you're going to Emory? Like, how does that work? Right? Because you know why you know why you skateboard. You know what skateboarding feels like to you and how you want that for other people to feel free and to feel like they can, be creative and still sporty and whatever. Like, to have their why that they own in a way that they can articulate, it's really empowering for them. And they will talk about that. They'll talk about stuff that they love if you, as parents, validate it for them first and not as just their little hobby.
Yep.
Do you know what I
Yep.
mean? Like, how many times have we said that's a cute little hobby, but let's talk about something serious? Like, no, let's just take a pause. Maybe that cute little hobby might be the key to something amazing for their future, something
Yes.
innovative, you
Yes.
know?
Yep. I'm learning this. I totally hear this and agree. So I'm going to get selfish for a minute. I had told you I wanted to talk about the adjustment
Mm-hmm.
because this is a huge adjustment. Everyone's like,
Yeah.
you're doing great. And I'm like, but am I? So I wanted them to go down the street to school. They're both rejecting me so far. and obviously want to go away. So he's adjusting, I'm adjusting, his dad's adjusting. Give us advice on a good adjustment.
Okay, so first, let me just say this. Contrary to popular belief, I actually think that the adjustment is harder for the parents than it is for the student.
I can believe that.
Our roles have changed, and they've changed permanently, and they've changed in a way that we haven't really prepared for because we've been totally focused on the kids. Throughout their entire lives, we have served as directors. We direct their activities. We direct where they go to school. We decided what school districts or what schools. We decided the activities. We decide. We even manipulate things to help them decide friends, like friend groups. You know what I mean? And I mean, I'm just saying, we do. Well,
No,
not
I
everybody, but
know.
I know a lot of us do. Um,
Yeah,
and so we're directors, and and especially I think as moms, because we really lean into feeling like we are so responsible for our kids, and when they are transitioning into college, guess what? They're becoming adults. And so
yeah,
even before they get to the end of high school, they're at a point where we're having to start to transition from being directors to being consultants. And I'm going to tell you something, consulting and directing are not the same. I
mm-mm.
personally like directing. That means do what I said. I like that part. Okay.
I love you're awesome.
And when there are when you don't do that part, there are consequences because I want you to understand that what I said is what I
Mhm.
meant, right?
Yep, yep.
Um, okay, but I want you to think about how we treat consultants. Who do we hire as consultants? Attorneys. Have you ever had an attorney give you advice and you thought, that's good, and then you did something different?
Yeah, for
Have you
sure.
ever, yeah, have you ever had a financial advisor make a suggestion and you went out and got the Mercedes anyway? Um, have you ever had have you ever had an accountant? Like, we hire advisors to support us and to help us even in adulthood. But guess what? We take what they say, we listen, we decide if we think it's great advice. We put our own little spin on it. We place our own values and our own priorities in the mix, and then we do what we want to do. Now, imagine doing that and then having your attorney call you back and say, I told you not to do that, right? Imagine having your financial advisor say, yep, I knew that wasn't a good idea. Like, are you serious? I'm done with you. I'm moving on to a new consultant. So think about
Yeah.
that when it comes to our kids,
Yes,
okay?
yes. Yep.
We are not the directors, we are the consultants. So, one, consultants wait to be consulted. They don't just call you up and say, this is what you need to do. Hey, Rebecca, I was thinking that this is
You
what,
need to go
like,
out
no.
tonight.
Yes, like, no, they don't do that. They wait for us to reach out. And when we reach out, then they listen and they offer guidance based on their expertise and their experience.
Yeah.
We take it into consideration and then we do what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And then even when we do the differently, we still come back and say, hey, here's what I did. Can you help me navigate this? They don't say,
Yes.
well, I told you not to do that. They say, okay, we're right here now. So let's consider the options,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
That is the role that we as parents have to lean into. And when I tell you that is so hard, it is so hard. But I think when you get your mind wrapped around it and that knowing what you put in is going to come out. What
Mm,
you've put in all these years is there. My biggest win in the last month, I've been giving my daughter advice. Of course, I've always got advice. I've always got something to say. And I feel like she takes some of it, she discards a lot, right?
sure.
But she was making some important personal decisions. And as she was telling me about the decisions that she was making, I heard my voice in her conversation. Like, I heard her giving back to me how things that I've said informed her decision making. She didn't say it that way, but when she was talking, I was like, oh my gosh, like, she's been listening. It didn't seem like she was listening before because I've been saying it for years, but she's listening.
Yeah.
And so it's like you just have to trust the process. What you've put in is in there. And my daughter is a junior. I wasn't seeing the advice come through freshman and sophomore year, But junior year's coming through like gangbusters, guys. So you just gotta be patient.
That's awesome. Well, and as parents, we have our own adjustment. The kids have their own adjustments. And I'm seeing parents all over social media stressing about the fact that their kids are not adjusting well. If you have any advice for them, thankfully, I'm going to knock on wood, not having that issue, but I feel for everyone whose kid is not having a smooth adjustment.
Yeah. So one, that's normal, and I think reminding them that's normal is good. Two, I am a big advocate for getting help, mental health help, right? And it doesn't
Mm,
mean that there's something wrong
yeah,
with it. The healthy people are the ones that seek out the help, right?
true. No, it's true.
So
Yeah,
yeah, let's not shame them. Let's encourage them. Hey, they have some counselors on campus, somebody you could talk to. I think that would really understand where you're coming from. I've always told my daughter, we don't lie to our doctors, we don't lie to our therapists, we don't lie to our accountants, and we don't lie to our attorneys. So, so, encourage them, tell the truth, be 100% honest, and then somebody can actually really help you. When you
yes,
pull back, then they can't really help you in the same way. So I think encouraging that.
yeah,
Um, I am also a big believer in finding your tribe. I don't
yes,
care, even for me as a business owner, I found my tribe. I've got other business owners that like when I want to quit and like throw the business away and go get in the closet and tell everybody leave me alone, I have other business owners who remind me, nope, you've got this, let's go. And we hold each other accountable. I think really encouraging them to find their tribe. Their tribe might not just be other students, because sometimes students have a hard time kind of finding their people at school. Um,
yes,
and,
yes,
and, and yeah, so go join stuff, do stuff that you actually like. That's what
yeah,
I tell them. Don't join stuff that you think will look good on your grad school application or when you get a job. Nope, you're a freshman. Forget all of that.
yep,
Go find some stuff to do that you think is fun. That's it. Just stuff you would do all by yourself that you think is fun. And what happens is that you find other people who also think that it's fun. And then you start building connections. So if you
yeah,
really like working at the homeless shelter, go volunteer, go do that. You know,
yeah,
you really like working with kids, go find some little rascals that you can like tutor and that you can work with, right? And if nothing else, in the meantime, you're actually doing something that's keeping your spirits lifted while you find
yes.
your people.
Oh my gosh, you have so much advice. I could keep talking to you all day about college, but I'm going to ask you. I'm not going to do that to
Mhm.
you. Is there anything that you think I didn't ask you that is important?
You know what? I think the most important thing is one for us to all keep calm, honestly. I think
Yeah.
that we freak out
Yeah.
and don't realize that we are freaking out. And when it's our kids, we freak out even more than we would for
Right.
ourselves. Um,
Right.
it's there's no need to freak out. When it comes to thinking about as a parent, if you have a student that you really do believe will be college bound, there is a strategy. There's a way that colleges decide who gets in. It's like chess, not checkers. Okay. And so if you need some assistance with that, we are happy to support you and help you to come up with a strategy to keep your life easy peasy throughout the high school experience. And that's not about saying like, hey, we're going to ride you about essays and things like that. Those are kind of byproducts. Those are things that come along, they come along naturally when you understand the whole point is that these schools want to see who you are. That's really
Mm,
what they want. So be
yeah.
more of who you are, right?
Yeah.
Let the
Yeah.
kids be more of who they are. And then it's a matter of just showing that off. That's what we're doing. We're showing it off. But lean into those things. I think that sometimes we don't realize the pressure we're putting on our kids, and sometimes because we want what's best for them and we want it so desperately, and they see right through our, oh no, do what you want. I just want you to be happy. They know that, but they see the pressure in that too, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And I think it's important to validate them. I think about how as much I love my mom, she's amazing. And I remember when I wanted to, I loved planning events. I started planning events, parties when I was 8. I used to read the J.C. Penney catalogs, and I would go straight to the wedding section. They used to have like bridesmaids. Okay, I'm aging myself, but in any case, they had like these bridesmaids dresses and wedding dresses, and I used to like go through and pick those out. And then I had these childcraft books, and in the childcraft, they were like kid encyclopedias. They had one called Make and Do. I would pull that out, and they had all these crafts, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna plan a party, and I'm gonna use these dresses and have these piñatas, and I mean, it was like that was just I loved planning parties and things and celebrations because I thought it was just fun. And that was a cute little hobby to my mom. It was a cute little habit. That was cute. You can do that as your side thing. I didn't actually know that that could have been a career. I had no idea.
Oh, I
I
know.
had no idea. All throughout college, like I would open up bridal magazines, like that just brought me so much joy to see like the latest, greatest thing that they've come up with where you can shoot confetti in the air and it floats down delicately. And I'm like telling my mom, it's like, that's cute. So anyway, when you graduate, then so listen, fast forward, I'm like, you mean that there are careers? And here's the other thing, even if you don't think it's a career, in the world we live in right now, you can make it one. So
Yeah.
let's validate them for who they are, where they are, what they already love to do. That doesn't mean that we don't encourage them and teach them and expose them to other things. There's an art to that. But
Yeah.
it is so important for them to know that we genuinely believe that who they are, what they naturally are wired to do, and what lights them on fire can light the world on fire. And they can be the catalyst for that.
That's incredible. Well, tell everybody where to find you.
So if you want to find me, please check us out. Visit our website at collegesmarter.com. It is collegesmarter.com, and that's an ER on the end of smart. Um, And you can certainly schedule a time to have an appointment to talk about your student. And you might just mess around and get in a meeting with me, and then you'll be like, how did I just end up spending like a whole hour of my life like laughing and talking? Because I love to meet parents, and
Because
this
you're a
is
lot
my
of fun.
thank you. This is my heart's work, though, Rebecca. I really feel like I'm really proud of my career and all the cool things I've been able to do. I'm proud of the things I've had to overcome to get here. But I'm going to tell you, this is my space. This is what I love. This is where my heart's work is. I am operating in my purpose in this work. I love watching my students thrive. I love watching them go off and live, these lives and get to college and do things that they've dreamed of. This is my happy space. So I I'm doing this work at this age. I told you I'm looking like fewer years ahead of me than I've got behind me. And so I want to do stuff that I feel is meaningful, and I love talking about it. So you're right. If you end up meeting with me instead of one of my teammates, you're going to be like, oh Lord, how did we get here? But I certainly hope that you'll find value in that.
Well, I think you're amazing. I loved getting to talk to you today, and I can't thank you
Thank
enough
you.
for
And
your
likewise,
time
I
and
love
your
your energy.
expertise. This was fun. This was so, I knew it was going to be fun when I met you, and we were like, this is freezing. And we just laughed. So, anyways, thank you so
Yes.
much. I loved this.
Thank you. It has been truly a pleasure. And I have so enjoyed laughing and talking to you and doing the whole mom thing because, it's different.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. This is Rebecca Greene, and I want to remind everyone to spend every day laughing, learning, and loving.